Thanks for coming back to the More to Us podcast. We are here to talk today about just some of the current events going on. One of the things that I wanted to touch on today was the Elon Musk Twitter deal. That has been pretty much a giant doo-doo storm from the moment it happened.
People are coming at your boy.
And I'm not even a Musk fanboy. I'm not an Elon fanboy. I'm really not. It's just let me say this. Starting off, I think he had no business trying to get the Twitter deal. I think that it was kind of a silly decision on his part. But it has just turned into a giant just mess of political just debauchery, and you have advertisers pulling all their Twitter ads.
Audi pulled out.
So did Ford, GM. Like, there's a huge list of them.
General Mills pulled out.
Yeah.
And you know how we feel about cereal. So that was a pretty big deal.
And there's all these people that are putting Elon Musk as their name now and stuff, and then trying to get verified, and it just looks so dumb, honestly, in my opinion. Like, from the standpoint of how everybody's treating it, and then, like I said, I don't think he had any business being in there. Elon, you should have stuck with concentrating on Tesla, SpaceX, the Boring Company, and I think a lot of people are being unfair to him right now.
Unfair to Elon?
Yeah. So, like, yes, I disagree with the Twitter deal, and
why do you disagree with the Twitter deal?
What point was there to the Twitter deal? Like, what? This is a man who has, like, yeah, but that was part of my point, was like everybody's treating him like, oh, he's just some other billionaire that's, like, you know, doing rich people things. And
he says that he bought Twitter to make it the most factual, essentially the most factual place on the internet for information. Do you think that's just a facade? Do you think he really just bought it just because he can and he's just having fun with it?
Yeah, I do, to be honest. But the thing is like, this is the guy that started, I believe he started PayPal with his brother. He moved on to Tesla, the Boring Company, SpaceX. This is a guy that has put himself in a position. Yes, he's socially awkward. Yes, I get all that. But to act like Elon Musk hasn't benefited society in any way, shape, or form is... I keep hearing people talk about him, and so one point that I have of contention with a lot of this Musk hate that's coming his way is they're like, well, he's a billionaire. Okay, first of all, in what world do I have to do something for the better of society, but I cannot get paid for it? We praise LeBron for taking a stand. LeBron's a billionaire.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so the next time LeBron takes a political stance, make sure to remind him to shut up and dribble. Okay, like Elon Musk, stick to Tesla. Shut up about all this other stuff. It seems like, and I'm not advocating for the free speech the way everybody else is, but I am. But my point being is if you praise, I mean, let's face it. I've actually came out and said this. I think LeBron's probably a Republican in most of his views. In his tax bracket, you'd be stupid to be a Democrat. Like, you don't think LeBron's doing all of this to keep his buzz up, to keep his, like, this is a guy, arguably, like, we blast Jordan for saying Republicans buy shoes too.
Mm-hmm.
oh, Jordan wouldn't take a political stance. Yes, because Jordan realized he was a basketball player. Show me LeBron's political science degree. Show me LeBron's degree in law that allows him to understand the intricacies of foreign diplomacy, the intricacies of any other aspect of lawmaking and all that stuff. Yes, he has opinions, and he has an equal right as every other citizen to those opinions. But with that being said, LeBron is a billionaire too. LeBron does excessive stuff just like every other rich person in America. And I'm fine with that. But I'm not fine with us blasting Elon Musk, considering until Tesla became big, right? I don't know what their quarterly deliveries were. Until Tesla was here, they killed off the electric car before that.
Oh, yeah.
Did you know that?
No, yeah.
Yeah. So, big automotive killed off the electric car before this. Now everybody's making electric cars. Audi's making electric cars. Ford's making electric cars. GM's in electric cars. So my question is electric cars are good for society, but we aren't here without Elon Musk. We're not here in a social conscious standpoint without Elon Musk doing what he did. He's the Boring Company. Do you know what the Boring Company is?
I know what the Boring Company is.
If you don't know what the Boring Company is, the Boring Company is one of Elon Musk's companies that is seeking to solve traffic jams, issues in a way by creating a tunnel system for larger, like, metropolitan cities that have a lot of issues with their traffic and stuff like that. And that would be a benefit to society, being able to get home quicker to your children. I know LA was one of the markets they're looking at. LA has a horrible. I've talked to countless people that have said, like, LA is just awful. You can watch the series, I forget what it is, that follows the JUCO schools and stuff. They have one for basketball, and they have one for football that I believe both kind of take place in larger cities. And one of the things that one of the kids talks about is, like, he's stuck in traffic for 2 hours.
Everybody knows traffic in California is terrible, especially LA.
Right.
There's a reason Kobe Bryant took a helicopter everywhere.
Right. So.
And it was because of traffic in LA.
Right. And so this is a guy seeking to solve that problem. Yes, he does excessive billionaire stuff. I have not seen.
He's a clown.
I
He's
have
a
not
troll.
seen. Yeah, he is. But I haven't seen a lot of people cancel the Amazon Prime subscription. I'm sorry, Jeff Bezos ordered a $500 million yacht. Let's just think about that for a second. There are companies that don't have valuations of $500 million, and this asshole bought a yacht. Like, let's be clear. You guys want Prime because you're gonna get your Whole Foods that much faster. You don't have to go to Whole Foods to get it. But you're not blasting Jeff Bezos for what he's doing. Well, in fact, the exact opposite happened. They blasted his wife for the divorce. So I feel like this Elon Musk hate is definitely unwarranted. I mean, the guy's over the top in some situations, yes. But Jeff Bezos didn't do anything revolutionary for society. He didn't push us any further in any way, shape, or form. In fact, he's actually probably done more to contribute to greenhouse gas emissions. Mm-hmm. Not to mention, Amazon doesn't pay anything in federal taxes. So, yeah, I'm a little baffled by the billionaire hate that's coming Elon Musk way, considering you guys will not blast some of the other. You guys still use Google and YouTube, don't you? What? Oh, we're going to cancel Twitter because Elon Musk bought it. Okay. Google's trying to force you to get YouTube Premium or whatever it is by their new ad whatever, where it's like 5 to 10 ads before you can watch a video. Like, they're increasing their ad revenue by forcing it on people who are not buying their premium subscription.
Okay, well, I didn't know that.
So, yeah, some ads are unskippable now. Okay. To increase your ad revenue. Okay. I don't see people canceling their YouTube Red or whatever it is.
YouTube TV, YouTube Plus, whatever it's called.
Right. So, I'm a little confused on that topic.
People are coming out of throats, and going back to your point about the electric cars, I don't think people can grasp how far he pushed the ball when it comes to electric cars. Audi's going to be all electric in the next 10 years, right? And for the people who their main concern is global warming and emissions, do you know how much Elon has benefited their cause? By extreme amount.
Right.
It's not just, I say Audi because I drive an Audi. I love Audi. But it's every brand. Ford, Audi, Chevy, Kia, Hyundai. You fucking name it. They're making an electric car, and every car company plans to be electric by a certain date. It's all set in stone now. A lot of car companies are not manufacturing new engines. Whatever we have now is what we're going to get in cars from now till when they stop making gas engine vehicles. And Elon is probably one of the biggest names to associate with that as to why that's the case and why everything is going to be electric soon, and as soon as in probably the next 10, 20 years opposed to what it would have been, which who knows, but probably 50 to 100 years.
Not to mention Bill Gates. This is like, everybody uses Windows. Has Bill Gates done a lot for, society? Right? Like, I don't know if Elon, I was trying to look this up a little bit. Elon's whole role in the PayPal start, but PayPal was revolutionary too. I don't know if you remember this. Before, sending money was just a complete, it was horrible.
Mm-hmm.
You had Western Union, all that stuff. It cost a lot to send money. By the time it got wherever you were sending it,
PayPal eliminated a lot of scams.
Right, and so this is a guy that gave you Cash App almost. He set the groundwork for Cash App.
All those type of apps, Venmo, Cash App.
So if you use Cash App, thank Elon Musk.
Just online purchasing in general.
You like electric cars? Thank Elon Musk.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you hate traffic in your city? Well, guess who might be able to solve that for you? Elon Musk. So all of a sudden, Elon Musk is actually doing more than a lot of these billionaires. Look, I like Warren Buffett, okay? Warren Buffett hasn't done a lot for society. That man has amassed billions through stocks.
I don't want to say...
What role does somebody investing in a company, right? This is a guy who invested in Coca-Cola, who, let's face it, Coca-Cola is probably one of the reasons for obesity in America, right?
It has to be pop. I'm drinking it now.
So I see it as a conflict of interest when you're blasting Elon Musk, but you're gonna sit there and you're gonna use Amazon Prime. Love Amazon Prime. I love Prime Video. The deliveries is amazing. I love it. But here's the thing, is when I blast Jeff Bezos, I blast him for the stuff that he's doing, not his companies and stuff and how he treats. Like, oh, Elon Musk shouldn't have smoked weed on the Joe Rogan podcast because of yada, yada, yada. Okay, so Elon Musk helps society immensely. And you're upset he smoked weed. You're upset he does a little bit of trolling.
People like us are upset about the fact that he's going to make verified Twitter accounts pay $8 a month. Think about the people who are verified on Twitter. Do you think anyone who is verified on Twitter can't afford to pay $8 a month to keep their account verified? And if you don't care, don't pay for it.
Right.
It's like I don't. What is the issue there?
So
Stephen King.
there is a
Stick to the hardbacks.
There is a More to Us podcast Twitter account. Mm-hmm. Follow us if you guys would love to. We'd love to hear from you.
Podcast. We're
right.
active.
And I'm not gonna lie, I don't care whether we're verified or not. Right? You will know that it's our account. There may be, other accounts that pop up later in the future. We're not big enough for that right now. But I don't care. In the moment we got big enough that I felt that it was imperative that we got a verified account, I'm shelling out the 8, maybe, I think, what did it start at, 20?
Started at 20, went down to 8. Yep.
I'd shell out the 20 a month for it. That's not even $1 a day, right? And for the people that are like, oh, well, what about smaller people? Okay, first of all, if the check mark next to your name on Twitter is what you think is going to set the bar higher for you, I have news for you. You're probably not contributing as much to society as Elon Musk is. Yep. So you're blasting him, yet you're an influencer. You're an influencer. And how many influencers have we seen do horrible things? Like they treat themselves as if they're the main character in everybody's video game. And I mean, once again, I think he had no deal getting involved with Twitter. I don't think he had any deal getting involved with Twitter. And yes, it has been handled poorly. From what I understand, I wasn't able to verify this, but I'd seen it from a couple sources that he had a list of the programmers that they had, the computer people, and the people who were in the bottom percent, maybe 10% or something, and the bottom X amount of code writers were just canned.
Hey, I mean, that's business. You're taking over a company, you want to get rid of the dead meat.
I mean, the thing is
I would like to think I do the same.
The thing is like, I mean, there probably were people in there that handled more specific, heavier topics, safety protocols, stuff like that. People who handled issues with the actual coding of Twitter that took longer, so they couldn't write as many lines. But this is a guy. This is a guy.
Breakdown of it, like.
Well, from what I understand, they fired them, and they've started to ask some of them to come back, which is like the issue. But this is a guy who has a background in tech. He did coding at one point in his career, but I think it's unfair to sit there and try to blast Elon Musk, especially when I think that the media has focused on Elon Musk, but we don't talk enough about, like, I think The Big Short. I've talked to you about this. I think there's a lot of things happening. There are a lot of rich people that are bad for society. Elon Musk is not at the top of that list. I'm going to be clear about that right now. Top 5, billionaires, really rich people with a net worth of $750 million plus, right? I'm not talking about you as an athlete who makes $20 million a year. You're not in that list. You're not in that list, okay? I think that we're focusing on the wrong things. We're mad at Elon Musk, and we're not holding, I not to get political, but I think that we're not focusing on the right social issues that are coming our way. We're not focusing on advancing our society in the way that we should be, which ironically, Elon Musk has played a huge role in, right? He's a big supporter of blockchain, which, by the way, blockchain is now being used by a lot of financial institutions. So for all those people that were like, oh, blockchain's useless, NFTs are useless, understand there is actually a lot more going on behind the scenes. And most of the times that they're telling you that, Jamie Dimon, for one, the CEO of Chase, JP Morgan, um, he's came out and blasted Bitcoin. Do you know who actually has a substantial amount of Bitcoin and just opened up their own cryptocurrency avenue of investing in it? J.P. Morgan Chase. So this is somebody who has came out and said it's not smart financial decisions to put your money in these, and then subsequently his entire business has actually turned around, started using blockchain, started investing in Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies, and all of a sudden I'm sitting here like, I got a lot of questions coming up. And the people want to know how I feel about Elon Musk. Yeah, the guy may be an asshole. I'm fine with that.
What billionaire isn't?
I can't think of one. Exactly. So here's the deal. Basically, if you get that rich, you are the epitome of you can either die young or live long enough to see yourself become the enemy. And I feel like there's bigger fish to fry than Elon Musk and his trolling of whether it's AOC or whether it's, oh, he did this or that, he said this or that. I don't know if you actually know this. He's I don't remember what company it is, but he's actually seeking to help with not like cognitive problems, but that's neural trip.
Neuralink. That's Neuralink. Yeah.
He's seeking to create medical devices that are going to help put, like, how far forward would that push us? Big Pharma's held us back for a long time, right? Insurance companies have held us back for a long time. And I know it seems like I'm getting political, but it's just, once again, we're at a point where we have bigger fish to fry, and we're trying to focus on Elon Musk is making a flamethrower. And just, what else? What else? You're unaware of some of these things, right? Like, there's an energy problem, not you necessarily, but some people, they want to talk about Elon Musk. Let's talk about the fact that there's an energy crisis going on in Europe right now. There's a global financial crisis going on. The real estate market
care about.
In the U.S., right?
Mm-hmm. No, I know.
We talked about it on the More to Us podcast. We don't like the look of it, right? And we're in a position where we're putting ourselves in a position to capitalize on it when it happens. But with that being said, we're still concerned about it. Mm-hmm. It's just because we can come in and make money doesn't mean that everybody's going to come in and make money. We realize that for us to do that, for every one of us, there is easily a family that lost their home because rich people were gambling with money they didn't have. Fractional banking is a huge issue. We don't talk about that. You're not going to see that on MSNBC. So I feel like talking about an $8 a month verified blue check mark, come on, please.
Amongst millionaires and billionaires, right? Because Elon Musk came out another millionaire, and I mean, there's plenty of examples. Stephen King comes to mind.
Right.
I was paying attention to that one because I found it funny. People coming at Elon Musk because he dared to come at Stephen King, a millionaire. Like, how many blockbuster movies does Stephen King have based off his books? I think the man can afford the blue check. He's on Twitter all the time. He says he'll leave. I promise you he doesn't.
I mean, if you were going to leave, here's the thing.
People talk a big game.
I agree with that. That's what I was going to say. I think there's a direct correlation between people who stay. Like, if you looked at the graph, like the amount of times you say you're going to leave and the duration of your stay, there's like a direct correlation, because you can't tell me you're going to stay, or you can't tell me you're going to leave if you've already left. So if you say it one time and then leave, I'm not going to get to 2 and 3 and 4 and 5. I can't. Because you're not there to tell me you're leaving.
It reminds me, remember when everybody was going to leave the country?
Oh, yeah. if Donald Trump gets elected, I'm leaving. First of all,
Come on, people.
I actually had this discussion. I hate Trump. I just want to be clear. I do not support Trump in almost any way, shape, or form. I didn't watch The Apprentice. I don't. I didn't like him as a politician. Make America Great Again. Didn't care about that either. But like, where were we? I forget.
I don't know. I'm not going to touch on the political side of things as far as where I stand, but just how people are soft and really take.
Oh yeah, because everybody said so. Everybody told me. I mean, I was rooting for Bernie against Trump. Wasn't necessarily rooting for Hillary against Trump, but I heard a lot of people say he's going to ruin the country. He's going to get us in World War III.
Who, the Donald?
Yeah. And people got mad at me when I asked.
They're talking out of their ass.
I asked for apologies. When I said before he took office, I said none of these things are going to happen. Mm-hmm. Right? And actually, the almost reverse happened. America thrived under Donald Trump.
They hate to admit it, though.
So I don't want to. I'm not a Trump fanboy, but like, there was a bunch of people telling me they'd leave the country if he got elected. Where are you gonna go?
It's crazy that like people we know are leaving the country. Like, I didn't realize we could just up and leave the country. You know, a lot of people that I know are not in a circumstance or privileged enough to be able to just make that kind of jump instantly.
Also, as Americans, I love how disconnected we are with the process of becoming a citizen in another country. Did you know it's actually pretty difficult? You actually have to apply.
I personally have no idea what that process looks like.
I looked into it for a little bit, not because I was planning on leaving the country, but it came up in a different conversation, and when we were talking about
America.
First of all, it's actually number one, it's expensive. Number two, a lot of places it's not as easy as just like, I want to leave my country and I'm going to show up in yours and I'm going to live here now. Yeah. And it was amazing because once again, I think that we were talking about the wrong issues. We were talking about the wrong issues. And, you know, that's my piece. I don't feel like Elon had any business getting into Twitter, the Twitter deal. I think it was a bad decision. I think he realized that after the fact. I think that's part of the reason he pulled back a little bit.
Attempted to? Yeah.
But I can't, now that we're here, I'm a where do we go from here kind of guy. Mm-hmm. So my question stands is like, okay, Elon runs Twitter now. Where do we go from here? Do you guys want a new social media platform? Because first of all, we don't need one. Social media has actually been a scourge on society.
I agree.
Social media leads to depression. It leads to people feeling inadequate. It causes so many social issues. Like, and I don't even mean rifts between friends. That's one of them. Mm-hmm. But Twitter alone, being able to tweet your thoughts the moment they pop into your dumb head. I'm somebody that would. I'm wholeheartedly somebody that would tweet out of rage. I don't, because I don't have a Twitter account. Do you know how out of touch I am with society sometimes? But it's not on things that I care about.
It's hard to stay on top of what you can even say and can't say.
And so, I mean
one day you can say the name of an NFL team, and the next day you can't. Shit like that, all the time, every day. There's the limits of what you can say change every day.
That is very true. Shifting to a much lighter note, congratulations on 8-0 start.
Philadelphia Eagles 8-0. Jalen Hurts MVP.
I believe you told me that was the first time in franchise history. Correct?
First time in franchise history and dating back to last season, the Eagles have won 13 straight regular season games And I pulled the receipts with my dad the other day. It was just after the Eagles' second game of the year. I texted my dad, and I told him, I said the Eagles are going to go 10-0. I think they might go 17-0.
So you guys are 2 games off of 10-0. Who do you have next?
We have the Washington Commanders on Monday night. I believe it's Monday night next week. And then the Colts will be at that game.
The More to Us podcast, part of the More to Us podcast will be at the Eagles-Colts game. If you see us there, let us know.
Yep.
We'd love to talk to some of our fans or just people who watch our podcast. You don't have to be a fan. But we'll definitely give some updates from there. You are slowly converting me to be an Eagles fan. I don't really care about the NFL, but I have been watching the Eagles play with this man for 5 years now.
It's been a while. Before the Super Bowl.
Yeah. So I've been watching them for a little bit. This is definitely not a bandwagon jump for me. I didn't have a team prior to this, really.
It's easy right now to become an Eagles fan. There's a bad stigma around Philadelphia that Eagles fans are assholes, and I'm sure, to an extent, yeah.
Everybody has those fans.
But Eagles fans. I'm not from Philly, but I've grown up an Eagles fan, and every time I go to Philly, you can feel it in the air. Philly is just one of those places. It has that stigma, that vibe to it. Like, it's a one-of-a-kind place.
City of brotherly love.
Exactly. If you got an Eagles jersey on and you're walking around Philly, you're gonna feel like you're at home. You're gonna be accepted.
That's good.
But back to what I was saying though, a lot of people hate Philly. At least the Eagles, they hate the fans. Right now, it seems like there's more and more people kind of rooting for the Eagles because of Jalen Hurts and that boy's leadership. Jalen Hurts just has all of the intangibles that you could ever ask for. And now he's putting it together. Now he's got his throwing motion fixed. He's going.
It's his third year, right?
Yeah.
His third year. 8-0 start.
8-0, baby.
Junior year. I can't believe it. He's actually doing really well this year too. AJ Brown's having a pretty good year. Well, he hit his stride. I think he was struggling to get some TDs in the early part of the season. I think he's got 4 or so in the last couple games.
He had 3.
How's Miles Sanders doing?
He had 3 last week. He had 3 2 games ago. He had 1 touchdown this past game. Miles Sanders is a beast, man. Miles Sanders, he's had some injury issues over his career, but every time he's been healthy, he's a dog. And I think this year, I want to say he scored a touchdown in every game the past 5 weeks. And he has more touchdowns this year than he did the past 2 years combined.
So I got Jalen Hurts pulled up right now.
Yeah.
He's at 68.2 completion percentage, over 2,000 yards, 12 touchdowns, and 2 interceptions for a total rating of 107.8.
6 rushing tutties. Or is it 7? 6 or 7?
I don't have those on here.
He has 18 or 19 total touchdowns.
Really?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
He's kind of going off. He's who did he play? Oh, he played at Oklahoma and Alabama. I forgot he went to Oklahoma that last year. But that's commitment. That kid has stepped up every year.
Significant improvement. Look at his quarterback rating from 2020 to 21 to now.
He went at 7% bump in completion percentage. He is on pace to go easily 1.5 times what he did for yards last year. Yeah. He only had 3,150 in yards last year. 16 touchdowns, right? 16 touchdowns in a 17-game season.
He played all but 1 or 2 games last
right?
year, too.
So he's got 12 touchdowns this year. Only 2 interceptions, as opposed to 9 last year. That's crazy.
He's balling. Hey, Eagles fly. Super Bowl, here we come. Give me the Bills.
So I definitely think that you guys are trending in the right direction. He only has a couple 300-yard games, but he's consistently throwing for over 200.
Mm-hmm.
He's got 1 game against the Cowboys where he threw for less than 200, but he had two tutties, and you guys won the game. I mean, he got it. He went out and got it done. And I think one of the things that I like about Jalen Hurts, which is kind of converting me to an Eagles fan, is the way he talks.
I showed you his post-game press conference. Go watch the Jalen Hurts post-game press conference.
He has a lot of the intangibles that I like in a leader, where he's supportive of the team. He thanks his O-line. He thanks his defense. And he shows a lot of like those veteran qualities.
I know.
As a what? He's 24, man. He's showing veteran qualities as a 24-year-old. That's a guy that's going to give you a long career if he can.
Jalen's a man. He's been battle tested before he even got to the league, right? He was at Bama. He was on an undefeated team before. He got benched in the title game. Got back up, transferred to Oklahoma, balled out at Oklahoma, second-round pick, made it to the Eagles, had Carson Wentz in front of him, beat out Carson Wentz, got us to the playoffs last year. Probably going to get us a bye this year.
Man, I'm looking at A.J. Brown. He is on an absolute tear right now.
Pro Football Focus has him ranked as the number 1 wide receiver in the league, and Tennessee pretty much gave him away.
This is a kid that has scored a touchdown in 3 straight games.
Yeah.
3 straight games he has touchies.
He's in top 5 in the league this year in touchdowns. And yards.
And like, I don't know. It's looking good for you guys. I think that Super Bowl here we come for the Eagles. Might be Super Bowl number 2. Right? Because that was your first Super Bowl win.
Ever. Yeah.
Nick Foles. That was crazy.
St. Nick.
I actually got to watch the second half of that game with you. It was something special. I'm not going to lie.
Neil was there at the Super Bowl.
And it was watching you guys celebrate. It definitely, like, I felt the connection as a fan, from one fan to another.
I didn't even know I had that in me. You know, I didn't even know I felt that passionate.
It was pretty crazy. I'd never seen you that hype about a game. Like, I'd never seen you yelling at the TV and stuff. It was crazy. And to watch, and it wasn't even like a gimme Super Bowl. They played the best of the best. They played Tom Brady.
That's what made it, because we love Tom Brady. Tom Brady is the undisputed best quarterback of all time. Try and debate it with us, please. You'll lose. But,
say what you will about any other quarterback. That guy has won decade in and decade out.
Yeah.
Super Bowls, regular season games. He's doing it.
Yep. And this wasn't like, we went out there and stomped on Tom Brady and the Patriots. Tom Brady threw for 530 yards or something like that.
Didn't you say it was the most?
It was the most. Sorry, not his stats. He threw for over 500 yards, but that game was the most yards combined, both teams, in NFL history, regular season and postseason.
No, that's wild, especially for a Super Bowl. Mm-hmm. That's what you can ask for. I mean, defense. The defense came in. I think that both defenses played well.
I mean, they did.
It was a high scoring game.
Both defenses made plays.
But you had Nick Foles who was playing out of his mind. You had Nick Foles who was playing out of his mind. You're playing the greatest quarterback of all time. You got to expect some stuff to happen. Defense is a game. If your defense is the best part of your team, you're not going to win a Super Bowl.
Most of the time.
Like it's very rarely that you can meet a high-powered offense.
I wouldn't say best part of your team, but very rarely will you win a Super Bowl when your offense sucks.
Yeah,
unless you're the Denver Broncos and Manning's last year.
Right. There's
a couple exceptions, but overall.
Right. I know offense wins games, defense wins championships. I'm not denying that. But if your offense can't go out and get you points when you need it, that's a big issue. That's a big issue. And right now, the funny thing is right now, after watching a couple games, the Eagles have both sides of that. The defense will go out and get a stop when they need it.
Top 5 offense, I know.
I mean, who was it? Who did you guys just play? The Texans?
Houston Texans. Damian Pierce.
They're coming down the field. They're coming down the field.
Yeah.
What's your defense do?
They
Interception.
Bend. Yeah, they bend. They don't break.
Right.
Damian Pierce didn't even have a touchdown.
But I also believe that your offense is just came out and got it done. When your offense needs to come out and get points.
Jason Kelce is the best center in pro football.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I could believe that. I mean, you guys have an insane run game with a running back who is not, I wouldn't say, probably top 5. Like if you were gonna pick a
no one would agree that he's top 5. I could make the argument.
Right.
He's a beast. I mean, he was Saquon Barkley's backup in college, but
if you're looking at like Derrick Henry,
yeah, I mean
Saquon,
Miles, he's not built like that. He's smaller.
Right.
But Miles can move, man. Miles reminds me of just a smaller, skinnier LaShawn McCoy with ball security. He ain't holding out here. It's tucked.
Those are some funny.
God, that 2010 to like 2012 Eagles team, I swear they all took ball security advice from Michael Vick. They would just hold that thing out, man. Just asking for someone to come tap it out of their hand. What's my boy doing? What's Miles Sanders got this year?
We got 131 attempts for 656 yards, averaging 5 a carry.
1,000-yard season incoming. Look at last year. 5.5 a carry last year.
He's already got 6 touchdowns, which matches his career high.
Mm-hmm.
His 2020 season with you guys. And, I mean, his longest is not even the last 2 years. I mean, You got 38 and 35.
But look at his attempts. Like, he doesn't get the ball that much. He doesn't get that many attempts, but the dude is just effective.
He's going out and getting it done right now.
He is. The whole team's getting it done. The whole team.
Oh, this is an interesting stat. Not a single fumble yet so far.
The Eagles just lost their first fumble of the year.
Really?
Against the Texans.
That's
I think we have
Jalen Hurts, right?
Yeah. He got sacked. It was whatever. I wasn't upset about it. But Eagles, they I think the plus minus differential in turnovers, I think they're plus 15.
Wow.
By far. Like the second, I don't know who it is, but the second best is like plus 5.
I mean, it honestly is hard to get to double digits, like plus minus, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you're minus double digits, that's horrible. If you're plus double digits, that's amazing. Like first of all, your defense is going out and getting the ball back for your offense. That's what that means.
Ball hawks.
Right. D Slay. Big play Slay. You
Gardner
know I
Johnson,
love big play
Gardner
Slay.
Johnson, our safety, he kind of does it all. Leads the league in interceptions.
No.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that's actually kind of a wild statistic. I feel like normally it'd probably go to like a cornerback.
Is he a cornerback? I don't know. Hold on. But he's got 5 or 6. He leads the league. But Slay, I believe, has 3 or 4. Bradbury has 3 or 4.
So on ESPN.com, you got Miles Sanders, who's 5th in rushing attempts this year.
He's a safety.
6th in yards this year.
Yeah.
Not even top 5. Tied for 4th in touchdowns. That's crazy. I mean, mostly just because I think Joe Mixon just went off for like 4 rushing touchdowns today.
5 total. I played him, unfortunately, in fantasy.
He had a crazy. That's one of the things we were talking about at work today.
45 points at halftime.
Yeah, I was like, whoever has Joe Mixon today is just going nuts in fantasy.
I'm sitting here watching NFL Red Zone, and Chris Hansen, the guy who runs NFL Red Zone, announces it all.
Chris Hansen that did. Huh? Wasn't Chris Hansen the guy that did?
No. Is it Scott Hansen? The NFL Red Zone guy. Everybody knows who it is. As I'm sitting there fuming about Joe Mixon, He goes, "My condolences to anybody who's playing Joe Mixon in fantasy this week." I'm like, all right, fuck you.
that was just an absolutely crazy a statistical anomaly right there. In all fairness, I don't think they probably didn't pass for shit.
I don't know.
Jamar Chase is hurt.
Mm-hmm.
But hey, congrats to the Eagles. Another big congrats. Needs to go out to
Slim?
Joe Mixon.
Oh.
But
okay.
Oh, well, I was gonna get. I was yes,
okay,
I was,
okay,
but I did want to tip my cap to Joe Mixon. Okay,
hell of a game.
Hell of a game. The man went nuts. But one of our favorite artists of all time, if not our favorite artist for the More to Us podcast, shout out to Slim Shady, Eminem, inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. That's a big deal. That's a big deal, and not just.
Would Dre say his skills were undeniable?
Yeah,
he said something like that.
This is a guy who fought long and hard to get there. And honestly, I think that he's talked about it a couple times in his career that he didn't think he would ever reach that point.
Yeah.
You know, it was funny. Somebody put out a tweet, I believe it was. And they said, I think Royce, no diss to the tweets was something along the lines of no diss to Slim Shady, but I think Royce the 5'9" would destroy him in a versus freestyle battle kind of thing. And Royce screenshotted it and just put like 30 ha 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 ha. He said big ups for the respect, but in his own words, he said that he tried when they were younger, and he said he embarrassed him, and he's never tried since. Which, Royce is an incredible lyricist. If you haven't ever listened to Royce the 5'9", go listen to him. He's a crazy artist. But we'll definitely have more to go on Slim Shady, but big ups to Eminem. We're huge fans over here at the More to Us podcast of him, and I'm really proud of him, especially being inducted by your mentor. You know, Dr. Dre is a legend in the rap game, and for him to be your mentor and the guy who inducts you into that.
And he's up there performing with Aerosmith.
I think I believe he also performs Ed Sheeran.
Yeah, I think they did Stand together.
Right, which is nuts. Like, this is a guy who's he's almost 50 now.
He is 50 now.
He is 50.
Yeah.
Oh, guys, he's not old when it comes to his music. That age number may get him, but he's by far. He's a young artist at heart, for sure.
Yeah, don't let the age, don't get it confused. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't look at how old that man is and make a judgment. There's been no drop off the older he gets.
Oh yeah.
So,
but
congrats to Shady.
Congrats to Slim Shady.
That's huge.
And hey, we'll have another separate episode just for that alone. We'll talk about it, discuss our feelings on the topic fully. But congrats. We love you. And that's the More to Us podcast today. Thanks for joining us.
Yep, till next time.